Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop. In this video, we're going to be talking about the best shoes for amazing traction. So traction for me is the most important aspect in a basketball shoe. You know what I mean? And of course, it's very subjective, but I feel like most people want really good traction. Like you don't want to be sliding around all over the place. I guess besides if you're a big dude and you're backing people down, you don't need as much traction, but you still need good traction. You know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like most people want good grip. And any of these shoes, I do have two tiers, right? But mostly the second tier is like it picks up a little bit of dust but still has a really good bite. And obviously the first tier, the traction is just phenomenal. If you guys do want to get any of these shoes, I try to leave in the free link in the description box. If you do choose to get any of these shoes, it does help me out if you buy through the free link in the description box, or the YouTube link will be right over here. But yeah, let's get it started right off with the second tier, and we got the Adidas Dawn Issue 7, right? So Dawn Issue 7 has phenomenal traction. It's pretty much the same exact like traction pattern almost as the Dawn Issue 6, but it does pick up a little bit of dust, so that's why it's in the second tier. But if you are playing on a clean court, it has a phenomenal bite, really hard bite, but also like it's a very easy wipe though. Right? So if you do play on a dusty court, you do a slight wipe and you're good to go. You're still gonna be fine, right? Also, this shoe is very squeaky. Squeak, of course, has nothing to do with performance, but if you like to have a squeaky shoe, Dawn Issue 7 is pretty dang squeaky. And also the durability is not the best. It's a very soft rubber, so not recommended for outdoor courts, but overall the Dawn Issue 7 has really nice traction. Next, of course, we got the Curry Series 7, or pretty much any shoe that has flow, right? So if you're playing on a clean court, it stops so hard, right? And also, when I play on a really clean court and I'm like, running down the court, I do find myself like tripping over myself a little bit, you know what I mean? As opposed to any of like rubber outsole, you know what I mean? Because it just has such a freaking good bite. So yeah, clean court, crazy good bite. Slightly dusty court, I would say it stops just as hard as like other shoes with rubber outsoles that have really good traction. You know what I mean? So I actually prefer playing on like a slightly dusty court with flows, you know what I mean? But yeah, you guys already know. But it does pick up dust, so just be careful with that. And next, of course, we got the Nike Book 1. So it's like second tier / first tier because the solid rubber option that I got, it has really nice traction. It picks up very minimal dust, you know what I mean? But the translucent rubber outsole that I got for the first colorway picks up dust, right? So I guess I'll probably put it in the first tier though. So I apologize for that because I did get the solid rubber and it's very nice. Just stay away from the translucent if you can because of the dust performance. It also is very squeaky. If you like to have a nice squeak. And durability should be pretty good, not the best for outdoor courts. So there is the Book 1, and last but not least, in the second tier, we got the Puma MB5. So you do need to break it in a little bit, but once you break it in, it has a really nice hard stop on a clean court. But just like all the other shoes in the second tier, it does pick up a little bit of dust, right? And I would say it's affected by dust a little bit more than all the other shoes on this list. Besides, like I guess like the flows. So yeah, if you do let a little bit too much dust build up, it does start to slide around a lot and picks up dust pretty quickly. But if you do wipe and keep up with your wipes, you're gonna be good to go. But also you have the outsole curvature, which I feel like none of the other shoes on this list have, I guess besides the Kai 2. So yeah, that's also something that I really liked. So, and this shoe, once you break it in, it starts to get a little bit squeakier. When you get it at first, it's not super squeaky. And durability is not the best. The rubber is really soft. So there's the MB5. All right, let's start off the first tier with the Jordan 40. Dude, the Jordan 40 is freaking phenomenal for the traction. Now, you don't need to break it in. It's good right out the box. Has amazing stops on a clean court. Picks up super minimal dust. And yeah, if it does pick up a little bit of dust, very easy to wipe off as well. You know what I mean? So just great consistent bites, great consistent performance. And also it has a nice loud squeak, which has nothing to do with performance. Durability, however, doesn't seem the best because they're like the grooves are pretty thin. So there's the Jordan 40. Next, we got the All City 13 and also the All City 13 Encore. So they're very similar outsoles, you know what I mean? But it's a little bit different. The All City 13 has the GCU in the heel, and then the Encore is just all tough rubber, right? So because they are both using tough rubber, you're gonna be good to go for durability. If you're gonna be playing on the court, you should be fine, right? But also, you don't need to break it in. and you have a really hard stop as well. Like it has one of the best tractions for the Pascal. Like it's just so nice, you know, it's just so consistent as well. Very minimal dust pickup. So yeah, All-City 13 and the All-City 13 Encore, phenomenal traction. Next, we got the 808.5 Ultra. So the 808.5 Ultra is also using a combination of GCU and tough rubber, I believe, and also has really nice traction. Yeah, it's a very, very hard bite, very solid bite on clean court, very minimal dust pickup as well, and also durability should be fine. You know, the rubber, they are using tough rubber, the rubber's hard as well, and it has a nice bit of squeak. You know what I mean? The All-City 13 has a nice squeak, and also the 808.5 Ultra has a nice squeak as well. So there is the 808.5 Ultra. Next, we got the Nike A1. The A1 has really nice traction for me. It has a very nice solid. I actually wouldn't say it's like the hardest bite on this list though. You know what I mean? It's not like such a great like immediate stop, but it has a really nice stop consistently. You know what I mean? It also has really good dust performance as well. Maybe it would be a better fit, you know, being in between tier 1 and tier 2, but still, I really like the traction performance. It has a nice squeak. And also durability should be fine. I mean, the rubber is like, the grooves are kind of thin though. It like kind of moves, but it's like not the softest rubber. So I feel like it'll be okay on outdoor courts. So there's the A1. Next, of course, we got the Liren 5 as well as the Liren 5 V2. And I have, for the V2, I have a translucent. And then for the regular Liren 5, I have a solid. And it's pretty much an identical traction pattern, right? The outsole is pretty much identical. But yeah, amazing traction for me in both of the shoes. You know, amazing stops and very minimal dust pickup. If it picks up dust, you know, just very easy slight wipe and you should be good to go. And also, both of the shoes are pretty dang squeaky as well. So there is the Liren 5 and the Liren 5 V2. I mean, both of those shoes are one of my favorite hoop shoes for the past year. I mean, just such a great guard shoe, so minimal but also like responsive, has nice cushion, you know, and is pretty dang supportive. So there is that. Next, we got the Giannis Freak 7, which is pretty surprising. I was very surprised at how good the traction was in that shoe. It was a little bit bulkier than I would like. It's a little bit stiffer for the material than I would like, and also the cushion wasn't the best for the impact protection in the heel. It's just a little bit too soft, and also the court feel isn't the best, but I still really like playing that shoe because the traction was just so nice and consistent. It's pretty much like the A1. I would say it has a little bit more of a harder bite though. You know, it bites a little bit harder. Also for dust performance, it's very nice and consistent too. It does pick up a little bit of dust, but again, it bites through dust pretty dang well, and it's a very easy wipe. So, it also has a loud squeak. As far as the durability goes, probably not the best option because the groove's a little bit thinner and the rubber is a little bit soft, right? So there's that. Next, we got the AR2 by Rigor, which is Austin Reeves' signature shoe. If you can, stay away from the translucent. Translucent outsole picked up so much dust. It was a dust magnet for me, but the solid rubber was just way better and just had a very nice bite as well. So nice bite, solid dust performance, and also for durability, you should be fine. It's using like a squiggly herringbone traction pattern, you know, and the grooves are kind of thick, so you should be fine for outdoor use. And you know, pretty dang excited about the AR3 coming out, right? So there's that. Next, we got the Series Player Only Easy One. So yeah, you guys already know the Easy One has the polyurethane resin that they're using. So it's actually not rubber. Polyurethane is pretty much a plastic, right? So they're using like a plastic material, kinda. It's like a derivative of plastic. And the outsole material, it doesn't squeak. It's not squeaky at all, right? But it has such a nice bite on it. Like, it pretty much stops just as hard as flows. Also picks up way less dust than flows as well, right? So it's just a really, really nice performance. So yeah, and also durability should be fine. They are claiming that the polyurethane resin has better durability than rubber. So there's that. And also same thing with the Game 1 Low. It's using the same exact type of like material, but it has just as hard of a stop and also picks up very minimal dust and doesn't really squeak all too much, right? So yeah, the Game 1 Low, if you're looking for a very minimal, like the Game 1 Low is one of the lightest hoop shoes on this list. So yeah, if you are looking for a lightweight shoe, that's a really nice option. Also with the Curry Series 7, very, very lightweight. Alright, next we got the Wild 1 Low. The Wild 1 Low very much surprised me. It is extremely freaking good for traction. Like, stops really hard, surprisingly. So it has a really hard stop. Picks up a little bit of dust, right? But again, it is a very easy wipe. You know, so I didn't really have any problems with dust performance. Durability, you should be okay. I mean, they are using tough rubber, I believe it was, but the kind of like, the grooves are a little bit thin, or like the rubber is actually kind of soft, you know, so just be careful with that. The overall traction has a phenomenal bite. Also, it has a nice loud hybrid squeak. Next, we got the JB3. Same thing. It is using GCU for the entire outsole, I believe. And for some reason, it has a nice like little squeak as well, which you usually don't see with GCU. But yeah, it stops pretty much just as hard as flow, right? Whatever, you know, it's not a rubber compound. It's like GCU is actually like a polyurethane type of like resin compound, you know? So yeah, phenomenal bite, picks up very minimal dust. Like, it stops extremely freaking hard. And durability, I feel like you should be fine on outdoor courts. So there is the JB3. Next, of course, we got the Joker 1 GT. Same exact thing. You know what I mean? Joker 1 GT is also using a rigid polyurethane. It's RPU. And for some reason also, even though it is a rigid polyurethane, it has a nice squeak. You know, again, squeak has nothing to do with performance, but it has a nice squeak for a polyurethane, you know, like, or rigid polyurethane, right? Also, it's a very nice hard stop, and it picks up very minimal dust, and it's way better than the Joker 1 for dust performance. Like, the regular Joker 1 is just using rubber, right? The Joker 1 GT is using the RPU and picks up less dust. So there is a Joker 1 GT. Next, we got the Ultralight 2025, which is the lightest hoop shoe that you get right now, and it is using a combination of GCU, and I think in the heel it was like just regular rubber. Correct me if I'm wrong. I apologize if I am, but overall, the traction is really nice because of the GCU. It has a nice kind of like little squeak as well, but the overall bite is really nice and picks up very minimal dust. And when I was playing on a dusty court, it still had a really, like, it bit through that dust very, very well, right? And I feel like durability, you should be pretty dang good because the grooves are pretty thick, right? So there is that. Next, of course, we got the Anti-Kai2, and also a little added bonus for the Kai2 is the outsole curvature, of course. That does help you stay on the balls of your feet a little bit more, like on the side of your foot, especially when you're doing like crazy crossovers and stuff. So that feels really nice. It has a really nice bite on a clean court. It picks up a little bit of dust, but again, it's a very easy wipe. So yeah, dust performance is still pretty dang good. Durability though, I feel like it wouldn't be the best. You know, the grooves are thin, the rubber is a little bit on the softer side of things. So there is the Kai2. Next, of course, we got the AE1, but you guys already know it has a really nice bite and all that. It's been out for like forever, you know what I mean? So there's that. And last but not least, we got the WOW 11. And same thing, it's using full-on GCU. For some reason, it has a nice like squeak as well, and it bites extremely hard just like the JB3, right? It has an extremely hard stop, picks up very minimal dust as well. If you're playing on a super dusty court though, I wouldn't say it's like the best, but slight dust to even like moderately dusty court, if you do keep up with your wipes, you still have really good traction. And durability, I don't know, it's weird because GCU is supposed to be more durable, but the grooves aren't super deep. And also there are some like thin and soft parts of that outsole pattern as well. So I don't think it would be the best for outdoor courts, but I don't think it would be terrible though. So yeah, that about concludes my list for the best hoop shoes with the best traction, right? And my favorite hoop shoes are on this list. Like, a lot of my favorite hoop shoes have really good traction, obviously. There's never gonna be a shoe that I like, or that's my favorite, that has bad traction. You know what I mean? So that about concludes this video. Again, if you guys want to get any of these shoes, I try to leave in the link in the description box. But that about wraps it up. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.